What's up, guys? What's up? So we are here on a Sunday night. Kind of feels good. Tomorrow the market's closed. Futures are open right now. We're seeing that we are popping right back to Friday's kind of I would say range. This is where we sold off right there. Trump's comments about the EU tariffs. So we did that whole little number. So we're pretty much right back to Friday's kind of action. And so let's see kind of what kind of happens here. I know everyone's all of a sudden, getting super bullish and everything, and that's fine. But we need to see kind of what happens going into, I guess, overnight, and then how they kind of stack up futures, how futures look tomorrow night this time. That's going to be the bigger kind of thing I'm looking at, because plenty of times I've seen pops fade up until the next, but I'm not having a bias or anything like that. Let's see kind of what happens going into this week. We have some stacked news this week, actually, even with this shorter week. It's pretty stacked news. We have Fed meeting, or FOMC meeting minutes. That's going to be happening Wednesday, right? So end of day, or kind of that usual 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then we have that's Wednesday. Thursday, prelim GDP quarter over quarter, and then unemployment claims. It's the bigger one Thursday, and then Friday's core PCE. That's another big one. So we'll see kind of how that rocks us, which direction we kind of go with that news. Hopefully, it's nothing too crazy, but we will see. Kevin says, "Yo, what's up, Kevin? What's up, Kevin? Appreciate everyone showing up right now. 48 people on the live on Twitter right now. Shout out to Navia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Neva. I'm sorry, but says my analysis is accurate. Appreciate you on that. Yeah, so I mean that's why I do these lives, just to kind of help y'all get a better understanding of the market for the next day or the next few days or whatever the case may be. And kind of just highlight, where I'm going to attack, what direction I'm going for, where this happens. If this level breaks, I'm going there. If this level breaks, I'm doing that. What weakness I'm seeing, strength I'm seeing. So kind of things like that. So yeah, right now, looking at MNQ and ES, looks like we are flagging here after, Trump dropping that news, right when futures opened. I mean, futures open, we're flat. We're completely flat. Red, a little red actually flat, and then he, dropped this, which perfect. Obviously, this is just being manipulation. Obviously, he waited for that. Obviously, we expected some type of, this to happen over the weekend, right? Because he announced this a Friday, which I thought was very strange. So I was like, in a psychological sense, it seems like he wanted to get it off Friday before the weekend, so then he can have over the weekend and be like, oh, we reached some type of negotiation, better news. So he tried to throw the bad news under the rug quick, and then rolled out the red carpet on top and be like, here you go, this is what we're waiting for. All he did was kind of extend the deadline. We'll see. I mean, I don't know, but so far we are kind of just popping up here, which was Friday's range. I assume some sellers are still here. We are in between zones for MNQ, so likely we come back up to this red zone, this sell zone, before we maybe come back down. Or if we lose this flag and come back down for the retest, maybe we stay down here, and then if we trickle back down, or even kind of come back down even near here by tomorrow night, likely we're just going to be kind of in the same range as kind of Friday's high area. So we'll see. I'm sorry. This whole time I was saying Friday. I meant Thursday. This was Friday pre-market, Thursday after hours. I guess Friday pre-market area, because this is all Friday. So So we're pretty much back to Thursday area. But we'll see. So after hours on Friday, We did see Q and SPY kind of trickle down, see that it's possible right now we are back up around this area. Either we're right back up to 514, 513 area, or we're right back around 510, 511. I'm not going to check overnight right now. Okay, I will. I lied. I will go check right now Robinhood. We all know how reliable Robinhood is, but we'll go check Robinhood and see kind of where they're at, or where they're guesstimating them being at, because that is usually just never accurate. But I like to, I guess, have a little bit of a sense. And it's not open yet, so when is the after? It should be, I guess, because it's still hot. It's just gonna be futures rolling around. All right. So, whatever. We can, again, speculate. Not going to speculate. I'm not going to waste my time. So, we'll see. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on these names. We are flagging here, so we'll see kind of what happens. Well, actually, ES did tag this supply here. You can see that we ripped perfectly up to this supply. We did close out that demand Friday. We ripped perfectly to that supply. Now we're in between zones. We came down, look right here on that red candle for that demand. We bounced. And now we're kind of just sideways here. So very interested to see kind of what happens. But hopefully you guys are excited to trade futures with me next Sunday, next Sunday, Monday. As you can see, my levels are working. We're just letting them work. And I really just wanted to kind of showcase some of these levels to show y'all, when we start trading this, how possibly easy it could be for us to make some of that night money, go to sleep, wake up, trade some options, because I'm an options trader, of course, by heart, and I ain't stopping that for sure. If I can make a little night money, that's cool. But other than that, I'm not gonna. I ain't slowing down on options in no time soon. So it should be cool. Let's see. Shout out to 72 of y'all on stream here. Appreciate y'all showing up. So I think tonight, I know tomorrow night we're gonna get more into levels, things like that. Chart. Maybe I'll chart a little bit right now and kind of see what's up. Kind of like a fresh chart, maybe. Or if you have questions, let me know. I'm just gonna kind of talk a little bit. It doesn't necessarily have to be like complete market talk, but just kind of wanted to just kind of talk more, just hang out. We got a long weekend. Been busy. Super busy. Tomorrow I'm going to the rental property to do a couple touch-ups and hopefully be ready to rent that out and be done with that. Not done with it, but be ready to get that going, and get back to focusing on just trading and stuff. Got a lot to focus on, but I love trading, my main thing. So I focus more on that than anything. Anything that takes away from me feels like just more work that's taking away. So I don't like that, but it's all good. It's all good. It needs to get done. Things need to get done. So we shall get them done as usual. 75 of y'all on here. Appreciate that. So let's see. So actually, one thing I wanted to highlight too, as the week, this is it. So I'm gonna just give it to you flat here. I know a lot of people on Twitter give, are the big accounts giving directions and they're wrong most of the time, half the time, all the time. It's just terrible. One thing I'm looking at here, starting this week, regardless of what's happening right now, regardless of what we're seeing right now, I'm gonna put myself out there a little bit. First name I want to go over on the weekly, going into earnings. Notice on the weekly this candle right here. This was the weekly candle for the last week, what we just printed right there after this huge kind of run up here. We are still on a weekly downtrend. Yeah, you heard it. You heard this right. Or weekly super trend down. I'm sorry. So you have heard that right. We are on a super trend downward on NVIDIA. What that means is, even though we have, it did bounce around that 86 level, and came all the way back, right? 90 level came all the way back up to the 130. We are pretty overextended on that. If we look at the RSI, actually the RSI doesn't even look that bad. So forget what I'm saying on the overextended. I think just consecutive pushing up here on the weekly super trend, pointing us down, printing just a reversal candle up here. Very, very nice reversal candle printed. And that's on the weekly. So regardless if we do go down and then like shoot up on the week, we are going down. And so that's what I'm going to be looking for. Now I'm thinking, well, what's coming up for Nvidia for it to print this earnings? That is a huge one. It's possible we do see, this candle print. And that's the thing. You can see something like this where it's a red candle and it closed down, right? But notice how it made more highs. This same candle on that weekly did go higher than the previous one, meaning it made weekly higher highs, but it also closed down and made kind of weekly lows, like it pulled down there. So when you're playing a weekly candle, it's a whole different ball game. You gotta lock in if you see something kind of going against you a little bit, knowing that, all right, if it's not working on Monday, Tuesday, it's very possible it's gonna bang on Wednesday, Thursday, or possibly Friday. And sometimes it's not the move or the timing you were expecting. Sometimes you get the move, but you get it on Friday and then you probably already sold for loss, and then you're just like, damn, because you're focused a little bit more on the option getting ripped apart than kind of the actual trade. And then that trade actually coming all the way back to plus 100%. We've all been in those trades before. It happens. So number one thing right there. Next one I want to focus on is Tesla on the weekly. Pretty much the same candle, except it wasn't red, but pretty much the same candle after a big kind of rip up. You never really want to see something like that. Next one I want to look at here is Microsoft. Well, hold on. Meta did the same exact thing, except this is a lot worse. This is an actual reversal candle right here sitting over this gap. That is a huge one. It's very possible this next weekly comes down, eats this gap, and then it could easily shoot right back up, and obviously in the same weekly candle. So you just have to have the right timing as far as banking on puts. I don't know about calls as far as trying to catch the bottom here, but I mean, some point's going to have to bounce, some point's going to have to, so a red reversal right there, something to watch out for. Same thing for Microsoft as we push right back up near all-time highs for Microsoft, printing at that, hitting that supply and printing a reversal candle here. So this is actually very crazy on the weekly for Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, and then if we look at QQQ and SPY, it's pretty much kind of the same thing. Now, we are, and this is a huge clue. This was kind of a huge clue for me. Now, Friday, notice how Thursday we held those demands. Friday, when we broke through them, Friday we actually banged our head on those same kind of supports, now turning resistance. That was a huge clue. Huge clue. I knew we would end up hitting that and then reversing in the close there. So that was a $2 kind of $2.50 pull down right there. You never want to see this when you have a huge gap lingering under right there after breaking a huge uptrend, and we're kind of trickling down here on the hourly. Regardless if maybe Monday or Tuesday comes and we're breaking the hourly kind of trend up, regardless of that, we are still on a 4-hour downtrend, which we can have room to push up before we reject. And every time I've seen on a 4-hour downtrend on Q or SPY, we always usually push up right after it prints. See how it printed right here where I said that, where we went into that support, and which was a major support, and we pushed up. This day, which was Thursday, we played calls for the ride up. We played calls, me and the Rico Cap team, we played calls, I played calls, we banked off calls, and then we would push up, but we didn't capitalize off of end of day, after hours, when we pulled all the way down with Trump kind of blindsiding us. Now, I really thought Friday was going to be a chill day, which, I mean, low volume, it turned out to be a chill day, but I didn't expect Trump to come out with the news right before. So that kind of threw things for a loop for me. And I was a little thrown off by that. And so I wanted to see what we would do kind of today and or Friday. And so when we held that and start pushing higher, I was like, okay, I know we're just gonna come retest this, and that's where we're gonna see kind of a rejection. But we do have a lot of room to come up all the way at least to the 518 level on QQQ on that 4 hour before we maybe reject hard and come right back down. So you have to be prepared for that going into this week. We have a lot of catalysts going into this week as well with, you know, uh, Fed minutes or FOMC meeting minutes. So Powell, whatever they're going to talk. Prelim GDP. That's unemployment claims. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be fireworks. Tuesday is just going to be kind of probably probably just a little tune up to see what's going to happen. Kind of maybe a lower volume. Who knows? If we do gap up, likely we're gonna eat the gap right back down. So that I'm gonna be looking for that. That's another play, which is another banger, another easy win for me. So if we do that gap up and we end up eating the gap right back down, which we probably will because right before catalyst they usually do that. So we'll eat it back down and then we'll be right back to kind of this area, which was Friday's area. From there, we're then sitting over, that huge gap for a spot. I just can't get too bullish with this huge gap with us sitting right over this. I just can't. I can't. That's a rule for me. That's a rule for my trading. And every time, I've not listened to that, they rug pull it right to that gap. And I always kind of learn why you were playing musical chairs up here. So, yeah, I stick to that rule now for sure. Stick to that rule. So I'm not gonna get too bullish up here just yet. Bulls are gonna have to really step in, and it's gonna have to be a little bit more than just news with Trump, right? We're gonna have to see. So even on the 4 hour on the MNQ and ES, we're still on a downtrend here on the super trend that printed. So we have to be very careful. If you're playing puts, I know if you're playing puts or you're in puts right now, they're either weeklies or you have some time on them, and you're aiming for the gap below. Give it some time, right? It's probably not gonna be Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, that's gonna be where you need to get it done. So we'll see. So every time we print a 4 hour, notice how we always push up and then drop it right down. The 1 hour is printing right here, but say we come right back down here overnight and going into tomorrow, and then futures open up again, something else happens and we're pulling right back down. I don't know. We'll see. So far, let's see if they hold these futures up here or not. But Trump did his best to try and hold it. Looks like we are rejecting the top of the flag right there. So let's see kind of what they do after here. So we got our plans. Stay patient this week, whichever direction. If you're playing calls, you swung calls, and you better hope this holds going into Monday and we gap up. You better sell right it open because we're gonna eat the gap right back down. Put players, if you're holding puts and you're gonna wake up Tuesday and say we did gap up, and you're gonna wake up squeezed, I would slam a new position for that ride down for the gap fill, sell that, and then turn around and look to just manage the puts you're already inside of right now. If you might need to add some to it just to offset the unexplainable, which would be the other variables like Trump, that might be interesting because that might be doable just because we're going into catalyst and other things that he can't control. He can say what he wants, but market's going to go off of the data, and the market's, regardless, even if we're up right now, if it's really overlooking that, then it's possible it's going to come right back down and kind of shrug it off, right? So we'll see kind of what happens on that. That is a game plan, a strategy, and that's something when you kind of know on the long view if you're adding to a loser or not, right? Because I always tell people, my rule is I don't add to a losing position, but, and there's a but, if you know what you're doing and you're playing a higher time frame and your contracts are just down because you're early on the position, then that's a whole different story. When you know what you're doing, you're adding to it. When you could have waited, if your entry wasn't the best, then that's okay. But adding to it, knowing it's going to work, knowing you're just early, then that's a whole different conversation. Averaging down is when it's not working at all and you have no long view about it and you're just like, oh shit, I'm just getting squeezed. And it's not working, it's not going to work, but you still just add to it just to get your average down to get out of it. Right then and there, that's a no go. That's a no go for me. So I'd much rather take the L, turn around, and get into a winning play than stick to something for a few days out and just get crushed, or just be trying to chill, thinking you're gonna win against it or whatever. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. How's y'all's Memorial Day weekend going? 113 of y'all in live. Appreciate y'all showing up here. Hopefully y'all having a good holiday weekend. Mine was pretty good. Pretty good. Still not over yet. Tomorrow I'll do a little bit of work. I'll be back up here streaming tomorrow night, same time, right, for the night show, and we'll get it going for sure again. At that point, we'll have a little bit more data on what direction we're going. Let's try a little something, right? Let's try a little something. What name should we do? I only got the big tech. I'm only sticking to the big guys. Huh. Meta's a very interesting one to me right now. Very interesting to me. We're just kind of the way it closed. Look at that lowercase h pattern about to play out over that gap. Of course, they're probably trying to save it right now, but I mean, the inevitable is about to happen, right? Who cares? And this is kind of what I was talking about too. Who cares? We gap up like this, and we're around here, right? Say we're around here. Well, then once we open up and we eat the gap back down here, which would keep us back in range, right? Because we have we have data and stuff, would only fuel that fire to push us, right back down lower, right back into that gap right there. So, and then hear me out. Say you swung puts here, and of course you can't control the variables, but we gapped up, right? Now you're up here with the puts. You're down on the puts, and you're like, oh shit, I did it wrong. Freaking out first 5 minutes, freaking out first 5 minutes of market. You sell them, you turn around and you slam calls because you now think we're just gonna rocket, into this range again, or go back to whatever products you think. When you don't even let maybe the first 15 minute open up or whatever, and then you see that we just fade all the way back down. Your puts end up coming back. When you could have been adding more up here, because this is where you would be adding right here. This right here, where you would be like, okay, here's my real entry. Now this is a great entry to be at here, up here, because I now know that if we come back down here to range where we close, I'm going to be up on this position, and then where I'm going to get the accelerated move I'm looking for. So this is going to bang 2 times harder. Now you could be like, all right, I'm not going to add to this. Let's see what happens. It ends up eating the gap back down. You're like, all right, cool. Now I'm back to break even with the set amount I already had. Now let's see if I get the move I'm looking for. Maybe this took 1 day to do. Now it's Wednesday, and you're like, all right, well let's kind of see what happens. I know we're racing against time, so that's kind of the bigger thing you got to weigh out. Am I okay with letting this wait, or am I gonna have to work with what I got, or am I gonna have to throw more into the fire here and get ready to just work with it, get aggressive? You got to get aggressive with it. Then you got to weigh that out. I've done both. I've literally done both, where I'm like, okay, this is where I definitely add, because I'm not even gonna add a second position, because sometimes I won't even add to it. I'll just slam a second position for the ride down, cut most of them, leave some runners on that, stop buy, and now this one's already kind of back to break even. Now I'm up on the day because this one, my original play is back to break even. We're down here. My original play is back to break even, but I already laid on a new position up here for the day trade down. I'm up on that with some runners, and now I'm really about to bank. See, you gotta have to weigh it out a little bit that way. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm already close to at the money. I'm slamming this strike. This is the best strike to be at. My entry was just off. So then I just slam more, and then all of a sudden, as we get that ride down, I'm up. I can trim some, leave them runners, and now that we're back down here, I'm like, cool. This is where I saw original entry, and so I can just protect my position, and then see what happens. So there's different ways to attack it. You don't have to be so, you know, uh, a lot of traders kind of freak out in the first 5 minutes. And me, I'm the king of open. Trust me, I get it. Trust me. I can't tell you how many plays. I'm talking about chat would go crazy. Where I alert a play. We're in a play. 5 minutes at open, and it's going against us a little bit. And the chat is just blowing up. Like, are we cooked? What's going on? Oh God, I'm down $1,000. Oh God, and I'm like, guys, relax. 10 minutes go by, like, oh God, we're never gonna make it out alive. Do I sell for a loss? What do I do? I'm like, relax. We're waiting for this 15 to open up. 15 opens up, and then boom, everyone's posting gains. Everyone's like, I never doubted for a second, trust Rico, all that stuff. So I get it. I know how it feels. Always kind of just, when in doubt, sit back, see what happens. When in doubt, do less. Plenty of times where I was like, fuck, I ended up cutting a position because it wasn't going my way immediately, and then all of a sudden it comes out and bangs, end of day, and I'm just like, I had till Friday on this. It's Tuesday. What am I doing? Like, rookie stuff, rookie stuff. So those are the lessons you learn along the way. And yeah. Shout out to the 127 of y'all on stream. Appreciate y'all popping out right now. Memorial Day weekend. Appreciate you guys. You want to join the team? WAP.com/Rico Capital, guys. Join the team. Join the team. We're having fun over here. We're going to have a lot more fun with futures, too. But yeah. Let's see kind of what happened. Futures kind of trying to do a little up and down action. I like that. Let's see what happens. Again, for SPY Q, none of this matters until tomorrow night. Plenty of times I've seen it hold up, and I'm in calls and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, and then by market open, a day or two later, whatever it is, I'm just like, on a weekend, on a holiday like this, I'm like, yeah, and then it changes because technically they stay open until the market would open, and then it closed, and then reopen for later that night. So like the cycle goes through, and you're already down on the position by the time it opens up the next day, and you're just like, fuck, it makes zero sense, but whatever. So awesome stuff, guys. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Let's get to. I want to chart some stuff. This is just a normal kind of thing. I know there's a demand in here. SMCI just kind of went on that run and just kind of fading now. Was Microsoft? Yeah, Microsoft was the interesting one. See, look, and it's crazy because this is the supply right here, and this is a big one, right? If we look at the weekly, notice how the weekly, this was a reversal candle printed, beautiful. Knowing Microsoft should go lower next, in our this next week, like guarantee going lower. But the thing is, when you're playing weekly candles, and I'm gonna show you right now a prime example of that. This is what the weekly candle looks like right here, right? You're like, oh, okay, cool. Short the candle all the way down, bang, bang, bang. No, look at the hourly on this weekly candle. The hourly. So this is multiple days, obviously. So you can see in these 5 days right here, it was green, held up, we came lower, made highs, right? Say you shorted right here and you didn't take any profit, no nothing, because we opened up the next day like right here, even though it was low, and you got squeezed all the way up here, and you had like say next week puts, right? Next week, you're expecting, you know, to close the weekly candle, and you're playing into this coming week. So you're in those puts, you slam those puts right there, and you're like, yeah, this is the complete top. I don't care. I know we're gonna go next week lower. Then you get squeezed. You get squeezed pretty hard, you know, going into the next day, right? Notice how we got that rip up right there. So we got you getting squeezed here, and this squeezed up. You know, this wasn't a few dollars. This squeezed up $4. Really, this squeezed up $7. So now, if you're going to look how this went against you, $7 next 50, you could have freaked out on this 1 hour candle. This is an hourly candle. You could have freaked out on this hourly candle. And the next hourly came all the way back down, and then by Friday, this is at 449. Some 460. You're freaking out, and the very next day, 449, and the move hasn't really even started yet, because it's possible. You know, this tags 446, then 442, ultimately 440, and they say it bounces all the way back up here, because on the weekly, you know, we're gonna see a bigger move because it's a bigger candle, right? So we could easily have a wick like this. It could easily pull something like this candle right here. It could easily pull that. Notice how it'll open up, come all the way down for the wick, and then it'll kind of push up a little bit, stay, and it will print a green, but came down for the red. That's the tricky part. If you're playing the weekly, you got to be able to know when it's time to get out. You know, not a whole, you know, it's very rare you're going to see a whole weekly candle just completely red unless we're selling off hardcore like we were, you know, back in, what was that, February, March, April. So March, April. So yeah, you gotta be able to withstand the fire a little bit. Don't be freaking out too much. And that goes for everybody listening. That goes for everybody. I'll say that to myself too. Sometimes I will freak out, but a lot of times I play things very right because I logically start looking around the market. What's supporting things, right? Just because Microsoft was pushing up like this, you know, and you're seeing, you know, Q and SPY kind of lagging, or at least Q lagging pretty hard here, and then we dump off, you know, there's always going to be clues. There's always going to be clues. SPYX is a very interesting one as well. This is what I was trying to tell the team as well when we're looking at this. We did create the gap down Friday. We created that gap where we came right to our gap. Well, we ate some of it. And we're inside of it now. SPY and SPYX started the gap. We're inside of it. And we closed right kind of at the top again of it as we start eating that gap above. The market likes to eat one and then come back down and eat the other. So now it looks like if we do open up green, SPYX will eat that gap right there. And then I fully expect this to come down back to this gap. On the hourly, we still got a little bit of room to go up on SPYX. So if anything, we're gonna have to, if you're a put player going into over the week, we're gonna have to be throwing money into the fire on the ride up, knowing something's gonna pull us right back down because the weekly is telling us that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, it's very rare these days. It's very rare these days that we see kind of weekly candles, and we can look at the weekly candles. It's very rare unless we see like a huge drop like that, that we're getting a full green candle like that after getting kind of near highs, right? On the weekly, we're still on a downtrend. We're still on a super trend downward on the weekly on all the major indexes, which is kind of a huge thing. And we stopped on the daily right above that gap. So I mean, this week, I know we're gonna come down more into the gap. It's not even up. It's not even debatable. It's not even questionable at this point. It's just which day, right? And we have catalysts Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So pick your poison. Which one you think? If it's gonna be all three, then all three. That sounds like a good mix to me. With Tuesday gonna be kind of a prime, a tune-up kind of. If it pushes up on Tuesday, then we're coming right back down kind of thing, and they're gonna keep it in range. So I mean, that's gonna be very interesting. as well. So yeah, I think this week's gonna be awesome. I think I'm gonna take the trades that I see, but I think I'm gonna have a kind of a longer view right now. I am currently holding some TQQ puts sitting over this gap. I have to. I'm fully ready to add more if we get pushed up here. But lowercase h pattern sitting over this gap. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I love TQQ. I love QQQ spot, and I'm ready for it. I gotta take that chance. So longer on that as well. I'm ready for that. We're already right over it, so I mean, it's very rare we get right to the gap on an index and then again defend it, like get to it in reverse. Especially with SPY kind of front running here. SPY and SPYX are a lot weaker than Tech. Reason why I went Q because the setup was just a lot cleaner. SPY already kind of started some of it, so we're already in it. And so I will be looking to add that once we get back down to it. But as far as like the premiums and stuff, TQQ, so much easier, so much easier. So we're looking forward to that on an hourly downtrend, 4 hourly downtrend, or super trend, but downtrend too, breaking it. So I mean, we're sitting over the gap, and it's very little liquidity. You can see on the volume profile how much it just dumps off. Like we're sitting right. It defended right there at that last like kind of volume shelf. And of course, I still give it a little more room. But the second we lose that 64 area, we're dropping lower to 60. We get on the hourly here. You can kind of see the same thing. Zoom out a little bit. You can see we're in a little bit of a traffic here. I mean, shorting it up here. Even if we pushed up a little bit more to 68, 69, shorting it. I know we're coming back right back down, and then it's possible we just slice right into this. It will be a pretty big trade, but you can see, right there, how much is non-existent, right? There's no order stacked here, no buyer stacked here to save any of this. This will slice. The moment it loses 63, 50-ish, it's coming down to 60 in like a fast swing. A fast kind of move. Could be the same day, could be end of day, overnight, could be one day, whatever the case may be. It's gonna be butter when it comes through. So that's easily a $3 move right there. I ain't missing on that. So definitely slamming something at the money there or around here. So for the ride, either way, in the money it shall go. We shall see, though. We shall see how we got to play it. How we got to play it's easy. They never make it easy, guys. They never make it easy. It's never linear. It's never linear. They always got to fight it in some way, shape, or form. There's always going to be resistance against you, right? If every trade was just a perfect drop in the bucket, boom, I'm a genius, oh my God, it worked exactly, I got in and I got out 15 minutes. If every trade was like that, then would this be any fun? Whatever, I'm not trying to have fun, I'm trying to make money, but at the same time, that's just not practical, not when there's other people on the side of your trade, and kind of just life in general. When in life have you ever gotten something so easy that was so worth it, right? Something that's been a long maybe goal, something that was like anything that's ever made you work for, it's going to be a resistance against you. There's something or someone on the other side of you trying to get what you want, trying to stop you from getting that, right? So if we're trying to come down, we're trying to win with puts, there are people with calls right now trying to stop that and bank on their calls. So we got to get aggressive here. How we got to play is how we got to play, and that's the same thing in life. How you got to play is how you got to play it. If it doesn't go your way, you don't just say, all right, I give up, boom. You pop one tire. If you're driving down the road and you pop one tire, you just say, this car's done. I'm going to have to sell it. It's over. No, you fix the tire, you keep it pushing, right? Or, you maneuver it in some way, get off the road, and do whatever you got to do, put a spare on, patch it up, whatever, get back on the road. You don't just pop off 3 other tires. You don't just go, oh, this one's popped, let's just pop the rest of them. It's not how it goes. Oh, we're on a road trip here. We pop one tire. Oh, road trip totally over, guys. Sorry, we popped a tire. No, how we play is how we gonna play it. So we're gonna have to play it differently. And the trades that work out perfectly, like a lot of my trades work out that way. But sometimes when we play the open and we're fighting for our lives for a moment, those are always I always call those the bonding, the team bonding experiences, because we're in chat sending memes like screaming push, or like hurry up, drop. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? Or just kind of going crazy a little bit, and then when it ends up banging. When it ends up banging out, we're just like, woof, like we knew it, we're good, but nothing good ever comes easier. None of these trades are ever really linear. So I mean, yeah. But Friday, the cool thing is, sure, could have played calls, and usually we do that whenever we break and we start moving. We would have played, not lottos. I probably would have touched like next week's. Just let them rise from, around 66ish all the way up to 67, 68. So not a really big move, like $1.50 move. Which, don't get me wrong, you're still winning on some, one day out. But this was the smaller move. We always play this, and I like the gain, sure, but I'm looking for the bigger move here. What's the bigger move is this downside gap here, the bigger move. And so I was like, if we're gonna load up on some cheap cons and this ends up going to near, our gap or even our price targets and stuff, then I mean these are gonna go 200, 300% easy, versus making our 40% on these calls and calling it our 30, 40% and just calling it that Friday. And then something not something kind of happening over the weekend, and then say it played out and we couldn't even capitalize on it. So I wanted to give us that choice this time to capitalize off it and go for it. So whatever we got to do, I'm ready to go for it. But should be fun. Should be a good week. I'm ready for it. Looks like futures just kind of just holding up here still. Yeah, I still think it's possible that we come up back to the supply and see what they kind of do there. It's hard to draw a flag on futures, because usually I just draw to the end of day, or at least the day ends on SPY Q. I guess it's really hard to understand when the day ends. This is the 26th. I don't know, because I could draw it all the way to the morning of, which is like right there. Oh yeah, I guess I could draw it to the morning of where market opens, and then it's still somewhat rejecting there. It's hard, but not hard at the same time. Futures, cents, pennywise. I'm ready for it, guys. Ready to trade some futures with y'all too, or y'all can just watch me trade it. And if I lose money, it's for y'all entertainment. If I make money, then I'm cash apping anybody watching here, for the entertainment purposes. So that should be fun. What do y'all think? Cash App? What do y'all think? Zelle? What y'all taking these days? Y'all take Kohl's Cash? Y'all take what y'all take? In and Out gift card? Y'all want a Blockbuster gift card? I'll give y'all whatever y'all want. I'll give y'all a 5-day paid vacation around Macy's Mall. That's perfect. And it'll be around where, like, the fragrances where they just spray you. You got to make it out alive and make it through there without someone trying to sell you something. But yeah, I'll hook y'all up. Maybe an Amazon gift card, Cash App, Cash, whatever. Maybe I'll fund someone's futures account. That might be crazy. And then you can trade with me, and then you can make money. That's a good one. That's a good one. Looks like ES is trying to break a little bit higher. MNQ a little bit. Again, not too. We're right at Thursdays pre-market, or I guess Fridays. Thursday's area of interest. Fridays pre-market-ish, overnight-ish. We'll see. Futures are kind of, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I still think we're gonna come up to this zone and then say where we go from there is where we go from there. But like I said, with Q and SPY being red after hours, how they bounced or we pulled down, it's possible we're just barely back here. It's possible we're barely back to Friday's kind of pre-market. You know, that's still a pretty decent jump, and we're not. The futures are not up that much for us to be doing all that. So it's possible, but again, range, right? And if we're smacking our head off those last week's support turning resistance, that's going to be a huge clue. That's why I got that up there, huge clue. You know, we got to be able to recognize that. But there is a lot of resistance up here above where we're at right now on SPY and Q. That's why, and why I hate this area. That's why I'm like, man, to be honest, I really wish we go down, because I'm tired of this area, this nasty chop we've been in. This area is just exhausting, right? What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days of just, maybe 9 days of just being in this area, which is just nasty, like nasty kind of range-ish choppiness, up, down, up, down. You know, it's gross, and it's not a good opportunity to be swinging either. You know, swinging positions in there, so it's kind of tough, or you'll get ripped apart. But we'll see. Shout out to 161 of y'all on stream here. I hope y'all are ready. I'm ready for the week. Sign up, guys. Sign up. Join the team. And be ready for the week. Guarantee we're coming out Tuesday. I'm coming out with a banger. The day trade, we're definitely winning. I'm ready. I rarely miss on that first opening trade, so come find out. If you don't know, now you know. If not, you can sit back and watch us members, or watch the members bank with me. Pretty awesome. Also, follow the YouTube. I know I'm streaming live on YouTube right now. Follow the YouTube, guys. Show some love on the YouTube. Love the YouTube. Trying to get a little bit more up on that. But yeah, I stream live there same time as I do this, so pretty cool. Okay, I guess that's pretty cool. I guess on the chat here, this is coming from YouTube, but there's also another chat. This is only coming from YouTube. The other chat comes from just Twitter, and I gotta open that up and manually look through there, which isn't crazy. I mean, I do that here and there. Looks like no one talks in there anyway, so unless it's like a troll or somebody just coming in and just blowing up the chat for no reason, talking to himself is crazy. Talking to himself in chat, oh man, crazy. Look at that, guys. Y'all like the sign back there? Real Cap sign. Who wants a customized Real Cap sign? Actually, I got some merch about to be in the works right now. Nothing crazy like that, but you know, something cool for y'all's everyday trading experience. Something to get y'all motivated a little bit. That's Regal Capital. Not just Regal Capital, but it's something with just like kind of more trading-esque. So pretty cool, pretty cool. What else? What else? Let's take another thing I was like, man. So Apple ended up getting hit with that nasty news. Man, we're tagging Apple nonstop this past week. And I'm so pissed off, right, that, you know, I really wanted the last of this gap. And I was on live with you guys Thursday night where I was like, I wanted the rest of this gap right here. And we were hovering over this, we were flagging, and I was like, we break this flag, I know we're coming down to 198, 196, 197, blah, 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 blah. Eat the rest of this gap right here. Well, of course, right before, you know, that news happened, pre-market, you see we just completely ate that gap, you know, all the way back down. Absolutely disgusting. We're in that channel. Yeah, I was kind of pissed off because that was something I was really eyeing for going into, you know, Friday. And I wanted to swing or slam some next week calls, kind of swing it into there. But I know we're already at kind of near the bottom of the area where I was like, the move is almost over. So let me not be too mad about it. I've already played like 3 sets of Apple puts this past week, so I'm not too mad about that. Very interested to see kind of what happens there. But yeah, I called Apple under 200 by Friday, and by Friday it was under 200, close around what 195. Disgusting. I was playing the 205 puts, the 200 puts. I was went deep in the money. They were probably like $600 a contract. I don't even want to talk about it. Don't even bring it up to me. I don't even bring it up. I'm looking for the next move. Let's find that next move. Where's the good RR? Where is the good RR? Palantir was holding up a little bit. It's complete sideways though. I don't really. It's nothing I'm liking. I think the only thing I am eyeing is what I'm in right now. It's just those huge gaps sitting below. Like that's really the only thing that's making me. I'm salivating at the mouth a little bit. I'm foaming. I'm ready to bite anyone and anything coming near me. I'm ready. Like this right here got me dreaming a little bit. Every nap I've taken over the weekend, I'm like TQQ cap, QQQ cap. It's crazy. I'm at the restaurant, like, what do you want to drink? And I was like, TQQ $60. That's what I want. I want TQQ at $60. Give it to me Tuesday. And make life so simple. Make life so simple. And they're like, sir, this is a Wendy's. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me get a number 4 then. I don't know. But that's kind of, I haven't been thinking about it like that too much this weekend because I know it's gonna be a fight. I was like, hold on. No. The crazy part is Saturday. I was busy most of the day, but I was checking updates a little bit, trying to stay Twitter, trying to stay off Twitter a little bit. All the big accounts, they just keep posting and posting. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But I was like, wow, no news, right? I'm like, no news, no Trump saying nothing crazy. I'm not getting any headlines right now coming from the news sources, and even today, Sunday, right? And I was like, oh, future's about to open, nothing, and I was like, wow, no news source, nothing's reporting. Even the big guys are saying futures are pretty flat right now, and then they opened up. Um, and I was like, oh yeah, it is pretty flat. I was like, wow, okay, maybe Trump's not gonna do nothing, say nothing, no crazy news. I was like, no way, where it's that calm, right? It's that calm. Then all of a sudden, boom. I was like, oh, okay, classic. I was like, ugh. So I thought I was out of the woods there, but not. And it looks like we're kind of pushing up a little bit more on MNQ. I got way too much going on here. So we're pushing up a little bit, but not highs. Yeah, hasn't broken highs. ES here, dancing on top of the flag, if that flag is accurate, but should pop and hit that supply again, possibly reverse back down. Again, doesn't matter where futures are right now or even going into kind of tomorrow. It all matters tomorrow night and then what happens going in. But I'm fully prepared to fight the upside. I know. I'm fully prepared to fight for that upside where I might place some short dated calls for the day trade, but for the weekly, I think I'm aiming for the downside, those gaps. So no bias. I am, I'm eyeing those gaps. I can't get too bullish. That doesn't mean I can't play calls. I just can't get too bullish, meaning I'm not going to be slamming longer dated calls, and then be shocked when a catalyst comes out and we just dump all the way to those gaps, right? Or Trump comes out again with some news and he's like, just kidding with the EU. We're F them, you know, I'm just kidding. And then we get that sharp push down right to the gap again, so we got to be prepared. Got to be prepared. Oh, also tomorrow, sign up, guys, if you want to do some mentoring, one-on-one sessions. Me and you jumping on the charts like this together, talking it out, charting together. I want to teach you guys. If you sign up, I will teach you. I don't care if it's, you're signing up for bi-weekly or the whole month or just one session. We can get in as much as we want as far as learning, but I want to teach you guys the one thing I use to bank at open. Sign up for the mentorship. I'm telling you, it's a good deal. and it's knowledge you can take with you. What you don't got to use, you don't need me after that. You can use it and bank as long as you stick with it. I promise you, because it's what I use every single morning. So sign up for the mentorship, um, one-on-one sessions tomorrow, and we can get it tomorrow. We can get it anytime tomorrow. Let me know. I'll work my schedule around it, and we got it. I got a few of them tomorrow, which is all good. Yeah, you can bank forever, guys, forever. You can bank forever with this one secret. This one secret, it's crazy. I taught one top member, and now he sees it, and he's like so shocked that look, it's something you can use on every name, almost every name, big name. You can use it on SPY and QQQ every morning. It's something you can use every day. And I will teach you. And one thing I'm so confident on it that we'll choose any name or even SPY and QQ, and we'll go back and back test it together. Like look at how it played out, even this past week. Any week you choose, whatever you want. Yeah, that's one secret. It's awesome, guys. It's super awesome. But anyways, yeah. Um, I tweet the link right now, so go check it out. Sign up, then DM me which time tomorrow works, or even during the week if you want. Whatever. I got you guys. Whatever time, whatever day. My schedule revolves around you guys. So I tweet it out right now, so go check it out. Shop around, look around. And you could always use Klarna. Use Klarna. Buy now, pay later. Worry about it later. That's a lifesaver these days. I know I don't like to be paying things right then and there. If I can wait a little bit, go. I'm all for it. All for that. So let's see kind of what futures do. They're kind of just dancing around. I see that's easy, right? If we were right up here, I'd be like, all right, we push back up to like right here, and we're pushing up on this candle. We can slam some calls and easily, what is that? 10 ticks right there. 10 ticks for every tick, maybe on a mini ES is like $12 or something like that. Make a quick $120 right there. 125 bucks, something slight like that, where I know, or we hit that demand right there. I'm like, all right, we're slamming some calls right here, and we just hold it for the push up to maybe all the way up to right here. This is 558.72, and we slammed it at 58.56. So 20 ticks, $12 a tick, making 240 bucks. Sure, maybe had to take an hour or two, but we would have had to take profits sitting up here. We would have got it together. I don't get off stream. I'm not gonna get off stream until we make our money and then, call it. So that's always easy. That's fun. Anyways, yeah, sounds good. I got the E mini S&P 500. Which I guess this is just better, worse. I don't know. We'll figure it out. E mini, which almost looks like the same. It's ES main, but this is the June contracts. So we'll figure it out. We'll win. We'll figure it out. It'll be fun. And that is starting next Sunday. 1 week from now, guys. Load your money on the Webull account. Let's get it going. Let's make our money, guys. $500, $250, $1,000. I think I'm gonna start with 1,000. Let's run it. See what money we can make. Like I said, if you're gonna be watching the stream, I'm gonna be giving away the money. Not all of it. Calm down, but I will be giving away most of the profits. And it's kind of like a learning thing after that. We start banking and killing it, then we'll talk from there. But it's going to be more of an entertainment thing while we talk about our game plans for options and stuff the next day. So yeah, show up to the stream, guys. Learn some stuff. Get the directional option plays I'm looking at, and then the setups, and then at the same time make some money with me. Or if you don't trade and you're just kind of showing up for the entertainment and the directions for options, you're that much closer to letting me make the money on the futures and then sending it to you guys. Of course, comments, whoever commenting, liking, and stuff like that. First come, first serve with that. So we'll see. What do y'all think about that? Should be cool. Awesome. Anyways, guys. All right. Well, been on here for like an hour. How long? Yeah, an hour. I say we're all right for right now. I'll probably stream again tomorrow at some time, and then tomorrow night for sure. So the night show for sure this time. An hour ago this time. Tomorrow, and then I might get on during the day, see what's up. Just say what's up, get more into it. But live with Rico Capital. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here, get some rest. Gonna be up early. Got some mentor sessions for tomorrow. Gonna go to the investment property and work on that a little bit. Hit the gym, of course. Got to get the gym in. Eat good. Drink my water. Sounds like a good Memorial Day for me. I'm not partying this Memorial Day. It's work. It's work right now. Not right now. I think a lot of people, when they got goals, sometimes, they like to party. They like to, enjoy they like to enjoy the holidays and stuff. Not me. When I got stuff I got to do, I got to get it done. I can't be relaxing. Not right now. You got to tell yourself, not right now. No, I can't be doing that. You got to start telling people no a little bit, right? They're like, hey, you want to come on this party bus to the lake for this Memorial Day weekend? I was like, that sounds amazing, but I've done that a million times, and I'm going to have to say no. So sometimes like you want to do this, do that. You want to go eat, do this, whatever. I can't. I got to be set right now in what I'm doing. I'll catch you on the next holiday. When's the next holiday? Sometime in June. July 4th coming up, right? I can do that. Let me get my shit done. July 4th, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna be in my red, white, and blue. I'm gonna be out there with the saluting the American flag. So, but that in order for me to do that, I gotta put in the work right now. So let's put in the work, guys. Let's put in the work. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all showing up. I'm gonna hop off here. My phone died, so I don't know how many people were on live. Last time I checked, it was like 150 or 60 or whatever it was. So shout out to you guys. That's it for tonight. Futures are not really moving too much. Looks like we actually pushed back down a little bit. Yeah, look at that wick. Oh, it made a little bit more highs right there, and then kind of wicking back down. Oh, perfect touch on ES. You see that? Levels, baby, levels. Trust the Rico Cap zones. That's what I'm talking about. So I knew we were gonna come touch this again. Perfect kind of flag break, opened up outside. See, we could have easily slammed some calls right there. Right there, slammed, waited. Right there at what, 58.72, hit 58.78. We made a few bucks, a few smackaroonies, bro, and then I'm out because I hit the supply. I knew that's our edge. Or we could have waited. We slapped supply here, and now we short, and then from 58.78, and now we're back down to 58.70. And see if we end up coming back down by, overnight we end up coming back down. That's a banger play waiting to happen. So look at that. I hope y'all are excited, ready to play, trade some futures with us, with me. I'm sorry. I mean, this is going to be fun, all of us. So let's get it, especially for those that maybe can't be trading the market and open, or, they can't be around in the mornings because they got stuff to do. Night money, baby. This is it right here. I can make you that money, at the night while you're laying down on your phone. Slap the headphones on, right? Get the headphones right. Locked in, right? Locked in on the phone, whatever you want to trade on. Obviously, just phone. Watch the stream. Pull up the the Webull app, slam with me, take the money with me, and then move on with our night, which would be just going to sleep, right? So, cool. Or even if you work the night shift, right? Not much going on. You're at work making more money. I love that. And then you don't got to trade the market open because you're asleep, because you work the night shift, obviously. So there we go. So let's see kind of what futures do here so far. Let's do it. All right, guys. I'm gonna hop off here. Appreciate y'all showing up however much on here. And I'll keep you all updated probably tomorrow a little bit, midday or early-ish. See who hops on with me. And then of course the night show again tomorrow. We're gonna get set up as we see some of these names move after hours or the overnight, what they're projecting. So we'll be able to kind of see what's going on. But yeah, other than that, anyways, hopping off. Appreciate y'all showing up. I love you guys as always. Sign up. Come on, guys. RioCapital.com, WAP.com/RioCapital. Become a member. Show some love if not, but I got a bunch of services, ranging from getting my trades, getting my zones, mindset coaching. You need mindset coaching. I got you. How to juggle being a trader, how to juggle your schedule, how to do any of that when it comes to some of these emotions. That's a huge thing. Mentorship, one-on-one mentorship. I can show you how I'm the king of open, so you can be, a soldier at market open with me. So I can show you that, as well as live trading, guys. I do offer just live trading where you can just pay for just live trading and get on streaming with me, in the mornings, and we I talk through all my trades. I'm looking at this. I'm slamming this for this much. We're at this. All right, trim here, exit here, sell all here, hold here, do this, do that. Live trading, that's fun. And then we have the top member option, which is awesome, but utilize that. The top member option is saving a little bit of money on, the mentorship. You're getting the mentorship. Anything on the weekends you need, I got you. You're getting live trading, and you're getting obviously, the zones and members access. So all for $250 a month. That's crazy. It's a crazy deal. And then the yearly, if you want yearly for just a regular RicoCap membership, $1,000 for the year, guys. $1,000. That's nothing. I'm making you. And you're gonna have access to, obviously this is where we're gonna be trading futures too. And I got you guys. I got you. The money's gonna come. Let's focus on the trade and just win. So WAP.com/RicoCapital, guys. Go check that out. Just get on the page. Just kind of, look around. If you don't want to buy nothing, window shop, just go see what services are even there. And then you could always use Klarna if you need it too, guys. I mean, that's pretty good. I had a few members use Klarna. They bought a yearly membership, used Klarna. First week, made it all back, the $1,000, paid it off, and then the second week they're up big. And then, they're like, this is crazy. I have the whole year, and already made my money times 2. I'm profitable on that. Already paid that money. Boom. Easy. I know. I was like, dang, like that's easily smart. Like you don't have to pay any of that up front. I got all like the Klarna stuff, which is so crazy. So get on Klarna and even just check it out too, where it breaks down the payments. You just type your information in, and obviously you're not signing up or buying anything, but it just tells you what the terms would be, right? It would be like, 4 payments of this, 6 payments of this, and it's super cool and convenient. So go check that out, WAP.com/RioCapital. Ask me anything if you need anything. DM me if you need anything. I'm going to be around, but have a good rest of y'all's night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So logging off here. I appreciate y'all showing up. Let's get ready to make some of that money. This week is going to be a fight, but I'm ready to fight it out. So let's do this. We're up, down, sideways. Okay, not sideways. Up, down, we're banking. Sideways, I doubt it's going to be sideways this week. We got some big catalysts. So I'm ready to rock, guys. So I'm gonna lead the way. I hope y'all coming with me. So let's do this. Anyways, hopping off live here. Appreciate y'all showing up. Have a good rest of y'all's night. And peace out.